So let's look at the next question. In a locality, 65% of the families read Times of India, 75% read Indian Express, 15% read neither. If 330 families read both the newspapers, how many families lived in that locality? Draw a Venn diagram to solve the problem. So, of course, the first thing that you need to understand is what are Venn diagrams. I hope you have done Venn diagrams. So, let's look at the problem again. So there would be a locality. So this is a universal set. I'm assuming that you know Venn diagram. So this is a universal set. So 65% of the families read Times of India. Okay. 75% read Indian Express. Okay. 15% read neither. So these are the 15% people who don't take newspapers. If 330 families read both the newspapers, so these are the families. These are the families which read both the newspapers. The intersection. How many families lived in that locality? So see, this is how you can solve the problem. Times of India readers are 65%. 65%. Indian Express are 75%. Okay, 15% do not read any of these. So the formula that I am using is that, see, if 15% are not readers at all, so this the Times of India and the Indian Express readers would be 85%. So because 15% do not they don't read, so the readers are 85%. So these are the readers who read the newspaper. The total uh, the total people are 100%. So we have done this formula in Venn diagrams that this union this union basically this can be written as n union of Times of India and Indian Express. So this is a union. This union is 85%. So this is equal to Times of India readers plus Indian Express readers minus intersection of Times of India and Indian Express readers. See, this is a formula. If you have done Venn diagrams, you would have seen a formula like this. I will write a formula. Usually this formula is written like this is A, this is B. So this is the formula which is written N A union B is equal to N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B. Usually this is the formula which is written. Now in our case what is happening is this is Times of India and this is Indian Express. So basically this is N of Times of India union Indian Express is equal to N of Times of India plus N of Indian Express minus N of Times of India intersection Indian Express. Now in another thing which is happening in the newspaper thing is that if 100% are being surveyed, 15% anyways don't read. So this union A union B is actually 85% of the total population. And then you put the value of Times of India, Indian Express and this value. That is how it is done. Another thing that you need to understand is that when we are taking these percentages, this intersection I have assumed to be X. I am calculating for X. So you see X here. And then when I have calculated, I find that the value of X is 55%. I hope you are here till now. So this X is 55%. Now what I do is I assume that the total number of people who are staying here is Y. Total number of people who are staying is Y. So 55% of Y, that is the total, is equal to 330. And therefore I calculate for the value of Y and Y is 600. So out of 600 people, out of a total of 600 people, now let's look at the question again. I think for people who are not able to understand, now that we have the value of y, now I'll be able to, let me try to explain the question again. So there's a locality of 600 people. 15% don't read the any newspapers. So 15% of 60, 15% of 600 is 90. So 90 people don't read at all. The number of readers, the number of readers are 600 minus 90. That is 500. That is 510. Now these are 510 people who read some newspaper. Now out of these, 330 read both. So out of 510, 330 8 1. 330 read both the papers. 330 read both the papers. These 180 are the readers who read either Times of India, they would be here, or Indian Express. These 180 people, they just read one newspaper. 330 read both the newspapers. And another thing that you can try to do is, another interesting thing that you can try to do is, these Times of India readers, they are 65%. The Indian Express people, they are 75%. 65% of total, that is 600. So you can calculate these also. So finally the answer that we are looking, this part is just to explain what is happening. So finally what we are looking for is the total number of people in the locality is 600. And this 330, this 330 330 upon 600, if you calculate this, this would be into 100, this would be 55%. So that is why I have written here 55%. These 55% of the people are the people who read both the papers. Times of India readers are 65%. So 65% minus this 55% is 10%. These 10% are exclusive Times of India newspapers. 55 plus 20 is 75. These 20% are exclusively Indian Express people. And the non-readers are 50. And if you do the total, 10 plus 55 plus 20 plus 15, the total will be 100%. So you do this, 55 plus 15 is 5, 6, 7, 90 plus 10, 100 is 100%. This is just to explain. Finally, the answer is 600. So I hope this is useful for you and you learned something. If there is any doubt, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer your comments. So thanks for watching.